This is my midterm practical for week 6. To begin, the skull would be superior to the sternal notch. Superior means above. Inferior is the opposite of superior, meaning it's below. So your chin would be inferior to your nose. Medial means toward the midline of the body. So your nose would be medial to your ears because it's closer to the midline. Ventral or anterior mean towards the front of the body. So your sternum would be ventral to your spine. Dorsal or posterior means the opposite, means it's toward the back of the body. So the heart would be posterior to your breastbone. Lateral is the opposite of medial, meaning it's away from the midline. So the arm would be lateral to your chest. Proximal means closer to the point of attachment to the body trunk, so in that case your elbow would be proximal to your wrist. And then distal means further from that point of attachment, so your knee is distal to your thigh. The right upper quadrant is located in this region of the body. It has part of your liver and part of your stomach. The umbilicus is in this region. It's your belly button. The left lower quadrant is in this region. Has a part of your urinary bladder and your large intestine. This is the sternum. The calcaneus is otherwise known as the heel bone. A midline sagittal plane would be like cutting the body vertically, like this. It would divide it into right and left parts. Transverse plane would be a horizontal plane. You cut it almost in top and bottom. An oblique view, an oblique section would be a diagonal portion of those two planes just mentioned, so an oblique view would be diagonal or a cross section. The thoracic cavity is this region right here. It has your ribs and your sternum in it, protects your heart and your lungs. The pelvic cavity is in this region, has the urinary bladder and the reproductive organs. The dorsal body cavity includes the cranial cavity and the vertebral cavity. Your carpals make up your 8 wrist bones of the carpus. The genitalia would be in this region of the body. Your patella is your kneecap. A frontal plane would be like cutting the body this way. It would divide it into front and back parts. The MCP of the thumb is this joint right here. The vertebral column makes up your spine. It includes the cervical vertebrae, the thoracic vertebrae, the lumbar vertebrae, the sacrum, and the coccyx. The abdominal cavity is in this region. The epigastric region would be this region right here. The left lumbar region is located right about here, and the pubic region. The humerus, otherwise known as the arm. The styloid process of the radius would be this little area right here of the radius bone. The right iliac region is the region to the right of the pubic region. The heart is found posterior to your ribs and your sternum in the thoracic cavity. The liver would be found in this region, part of that right upper quadrant. Your bladder is in this region of the pubic region. The kidneys are anterior to your 11th and 12th rib. The orbital cavities are these cavities that contain your eyeballs. The middle ear cavities would be medial or inside, basically to where the external ear lies. The cervical neck are the 7 vertebrae, making the 7 cervical vertebrae. It includes the atlas and the axis vertebrae. The acromion process is this part of the scapula. The olecranon, there's an olecranon process and an olecranon fossa. The olecranon fossa is this part more of the humerus bone, and the process is a part of the ulna bone. The popliteal space would be located posterior to the knee. The hallux is this bone, otherwise known as the big or great toe. The sacrum are these 5 fused vertebrae in this region. The thoracic spine are the 12 vertebrae inferior to the cervical neck. The lumbar spine would be the 5 vertebrae, which is inferior to the 12 thoracic vertebrae. The occipital bone is this bone at the back of the head. What time am I at?
7 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay. The dorsum of the hand would be the dorsal part, or towards the back of your hand. Dorsiflex, the foot, would be like curling your toes upward towards the shin and towards the superior surface of the foot. The sphenoid bone is in this region. That's the right sphenoid and the left sphenoid. The lacrimal bone are these bones right within the orbital cavities. And the maxilla makes up this area, or your upper jawbone.